Imagine waking up in a world where death is everywhere. Streets are silent, homes are abandoned, entire families are gone overnight. There are no hospitals to run to, no medicine to rely on, and no explanation for what is happening. This was life in the 14th century, when one disease reshaped the course of human history. It was called the Black Death, and it remains the deadliest pandemic the world has ever known. During the 1300s, everyday life was harsh even without disease. Cities were crowded, clean water was rare, and waste often filled the streets. People had no understanding of bacteria or infection. When illness appeared, it was blamed on bad air, religious punishment, or supernatural forces. This lack of knowledge made society extremely vulnerable. Most historians believe the Black Death began in Central Asia. From there, it traveled silently along trade routes that connected the East and the West. Merchants, travelers, and soldiers unknowingly carried the disease with them as they moved across continents. By the time it reached Europe, it was unstoppable. Merchant ships arriving at busy ports brought more than spices and silk. Hidden in the cargo were rats, and on those rats were fleas carrying deadly bacteria. Once these ships docked, the plague spread rapidly through port cities and then inland, reaching towns, villages, and farms. People had no idea how the disease was spreading. There were no quarantines, no vaccines, and no effective treatments. Once someone became infected, survival was unlikely. The symptoms were sudden and horrifying. Victims developed high fevers, chills, and extreme exhaustion. Painful, swollen lumps appeared under the arms, in the neck, and near the groin. These swellings often turned dark or black, which is how the disease got its name. In many cases, death followed within just a few days. Fear spread faster than the disease itself. Families abandoned sick relatives out of desperation. Neighbors refused to help one another. Doctors, powerless and terrified, often refused to see patients. Religious leaders struggled to explain why so many were dying. Dead bodies filled homes and streets, sometimes left untouched for days. Some doctors attempted protection by wearing long robes and strange bird-like masks filled with herbs and flowers. They believed pleasant smells could protect them from poisonous air. While these images are famous today, they offered no real defense against the plague. The disease did not discriminate. Rich and poor, young and old, kings and peasants, all were equally vulnerable. Within just a few years, the destruction was unimaginable. Historians estimate that between 30 and 50% of Europe's population died. Entire villages vanished from the map. Fields went unharvested. Businesses closed. Trade networks collapsed. So many people died that traditional burial practices became impossible. Mass graves were dug as communities struggled to keep up with the number of deaths. For those who survived, the world was completely transformed. With such a large portion of the population gone, labor became extremely valuable. Workers demanded better wages and conditions. Long-standing social systems began to weaken. The balance of power slowly shifted away from traditional elites. The Black Death also changed how people thought about medicine and science. Over time, societies began questioning old beliefs and searching for practical explanations for disease. This slow shift helped lay the groundwork for modern public health, medical research, and sanitation. While the plague was a tragedy beyond measure, it forced humanity to learn painful but necessary lessons. Even centuries later, the Black Death remains relevant. It reminds us how fragile civilization can be and how quickly disease can reshape the world. It shows why scientific understanding, hygiene, and public health systems are essential to human survival. The Black Death was not just a medieval disaster, it was a turning point. that changed economies, social structures, and the way humans understand disease. History does not just tell us what happened, it warns us what can happen again if we ignore the lessons of the past. If you enjoy learning about real historical events that shaped the modern world, make sure to subscribe to the channel. In the next video, we'll explore another deadly outbreak that changed global history forever.